And welcome guys to another little video. Now in today's video we're going to be discussing how the weapon stuff works and how the inheritance works for the weaponry, because it's not easy to visualize and see, because you're going to be like, this inherits from this, this inherits from this, and this inherits from this. Now you're probably like, well, this is a state machine thing for Unity. Well, yeah, it is. But it's very visual and very easy to follow, and you guys already have it. So we're using what we have already. Okay, so as you've seen on most of my weapons and stuff like that you've seen that I shoot, this is the script that I'm working with, the auto light basic, which is cool and all, but it's a basic automatic, or it could be a single shot as well, because you just turn, the good old, the slider up for firing rate that takes longer to fire another shot. And, you could pretty much have a nice single shot gun that way, You can't fire like super lots and lots and lots, so yeah. Or maybe, you want to do a burst class. That wouldn't be that hard. You just change the firing state stuff and things like that. It could actually probably be a branch off of this one, and then you just change the way the firing logic works, but keep everything else, right? And that's the beauty of it. So in our code, the way we use inheritance is to override stuff that we don't want to do a bunch of checks for, because checks are bad. Checks are bad. If we could shortcut a lot of it, let's just do it, right? Think of it as going to the store, right? You go to the store, you want a bag of potatoes. You don't want to deal with anything else, so you just want to go in there, grab up the potatoes, stick them in your cartons, and go buy that stuff, right? Well, think of code and checks this way. If you go in there and you have to sort through every single bag of potatoes, you don't want to go there, right? Well, same case. If we have to change, do a bunch of if, else, if, else, if, else, if, else, we don't want to do it, right? Because it hinders performance. It makes it less likely that we will get high frame rates on a low machine. So what do? Well, we have to cut those out. So overriding the firing stuff in this script, this script right here, the way it fires, overriding it so it doesn't have a bunch of statements. It goes from, automatic function call to a single shot function call. Just overriding that one method could give us everything that we want. Okay? Or let's say, instead of this, we need a shotgun. Okay? So, okay, well, how would I... The reload logic in this would be all wrong, because we dump every piece of ammo into our thing, which would be bad. But everything else is good, right? We don't have it just does animation, and we have to just override the reload, right? So we would make another script like this, make another script, and it wouldn't be part of light basic, but if you're following what I'm saying, it would be relatively easy. So in the shotgun logic, in this logic right here, the only thing that we have to override is the reload. Instead of giving us, let's say, 40 each time it cycles, okay, when we call it, we need it to just give us a single round. He shoves a single round in there. It updates the UI for one digit, but then he keeps reloading because, a shotgun, you only get to load one shell at a beat. But everything else is fine. So, not this way. Wrong. We'll take our shotgun, we'll inherit from auto light basic. Pump up the firing rate, right? Because he can't shoot that fast. Then we override the reload. Awesome. Done. Once we have the reloading logic done for shotguns, which brings me up to the next case. Well, how many other guns is going to be like that for reloading, right? Well, maybe if you have, let's say, a 50 caliber bolt action, you can only load one bullet per shot in. Then you have to load another bullet in, which, doesn't sound logical, but same base study, right? Well, you're probably going to be like, hey, this reload logic for the shotgun, will that work? Not really, but in our code wise, even if we pump up the firing, so he can't fire very quickly. Alright, he still has to do animational stuff, right? He has to load the shell in, and then after the shell is loaded in, he's done. He doesn't keep reloading. Well, most of that applies to the shotgun. Because after he gets done loading all your ammunition in there, the animation stops playing. You're done. Okay? It just doesn't keep continuing. Which the shotgun reloading logic would work for that. So we would probably go, hey, the reloading logic, instead of just laying here, because we want to use it in other guns, we will put it into not weapon actions, but probably war mono behavior. Because this is something that's a gun behavior that's going to be maybe applied to several different guns. So we'll write the logic to work in war mono behavior. We'll give it the overloads that it needs and stuff like that. And we push all that stuff into this class. Okay? And make it a function call. So we have more than one reload animation, right? More than one different type of reload stuff that we can do. So it becomes available to all the guns to be able to be usable. So if we go down here to sniper rifle, where it should be, any type of sniper rifle that has that type of logic for the bolt action will be able to access it and do it. Now, you're probably like, well, that code probably belongs here. Well, you're probably right. But the thing about it is, I don't want it to exist here and then go on. I want it to exist here. Because not only that, let's say I have a third-person controller now, okay? A third-person controller. And I can swap between third person and first person. So now I have the issue with the animations have to sync up, right? So having it accessed here will be good for us because we can have this script handed our third person controller. We can make a script that handles third person stuff. Third person right? Oh, and I was holding that. Okay. Oh, wrong thing, buddy. That's bad. Okay. Third person. Okay. Well, we have the third person script here. Hey, all we need to do is get the component for this, right? That's it. Third person view. Get component. Bam. But this is in our base class version right here. Why is this important for us to have, right? How are we going to make this available so it's functional in the third person controller, right? For animation and stuff. So we're going to take this and we're going to bring it down here, okay? And you're probably going to know what's going to go on here. If you look at our trio, this to this and to this, well, you know that in Weapon Manager, we have a variable to weapon actions, right? This has a variable to weapon actions, all right? And what weapon actions does is it loads up all the information to push to these guys, right? But this inherits from our vector thing for weaponry, like that, but it also inherits from war mono behavior. You see what I'm getting at now? So the logic for reloading is now available here. So Weapon Manager will have a variable probably for third person, okay, where it just keeps pushing animational stuff and everything else, but all that information is accessible, okay? You're going to go, or you're going to have a variable in here, you're going to have the manager class will have a reference to this. So every single time you do a get component to the war to get the actions, the war actions right here, the actions class, for every single time you change your weapon, it gets the components, and then there you go. Well, you can always have, after it does the get component, sets up your variables, you can also push that into here. So the third person controller now has access to war actions, which in turn will give it really lots of stuff that it can work with, right? Because third person controller can check all the values, okay, that's already there. It has a nice, it can have an update loop, check reloading, check this, check that. But that could get complicated. That's pretty sketchy explanation. But you get my point. When you try to get the component for a lot of different things, instead of get component for this, get component for this, and this, we can just do a get component for this, and we have access to function calls here. Probably not the way that you like, but hey, it works. Because we can go in here and go from code-wise, all this stuff is accessible in war actions. Or, yeah. War actions, it inherits from this class. Okay, because you know it's utilities. Okay, Not that way. Not that direction. That's the wrong direction. But you'll have access to a lot of different functions, but this will be one of them. So you can probably call your animation stuff. Yeah, right here, basic reload. Or if you put that shotgun stuff in there, it'll do it for us. As an example, we got basic reload, okay? In this class, I want to call basic reload. Basic reload. Boom. Basic reload. And then we pass it the stuff that it needs. And if we go into weapon actions, sway, move, shooter, state, sway. Actually, this will probably be quicker. No, it won't. Actually, this will be the quickest. Finding stuff's a pain. There we go. We'll go into this. This is a prime example right here. Not going to save that. Not going to save that. That. Okay, so we're in war actions, right? And guess what? Third person controller can call inside this script basic reload. Okay? And even to prove it even better, we're going to go into here. We're going to go now. So in this script, light gunner class, we're going to go and give it stuff. We're going to do a function call. What did I call it in the weapon manager class? W actions. Okay. Light gunner. We'll go up here. No, we'll go here. W actions dot. And we could do add move, which does kickback stuff, right? Dot move, which is our update loop. Guess what? There's your reload logic. Bam. Okay. And this requires an animator. Okay. That's one of the parameters for that is it requires an animator. Okay. Whoa, that was really small. Alright, so in a nutshell, basic reload, an animator, timer, string ammo. Why is it? Oh, so it could take it out of our inventory stuff. Okay, yeah. When we write that stuff. W actions. Why do I do W actions? Weapon. Why do I do weapon? Weapon. Weapon dot ammo. Oh, it's so it can add ammo. Okay, that's pretty legit. And we have a timer and all that stuff. So, yeah, intern. That's kind of nice. I like how I coded that. That's actually quite nice. So now we have reload stuff. So that's why I won't put that reload in some of the base logic for weapons in this kind of class, but up here. That way we can use it for everything. Well, the weapon vector class is nothing but noise. The war mono behavior is just basic functionality that we don't want to write for guns all the time. In my other video, I explained these. They're for player stuff and things. So, yeah, I think this is a good time to exit out of this video. Because I think that pretty much covers any topic that you want for weaponry. I think that's a good explanation for the logic behind the madness that you've seen in my previous videos and stuff. The method to the madness. There always is for me. Just, saying, hey, if you guys don't realize how it works, here you go. Here's a detailed explanation of why and just pretty much why. So, yeah. I mean, here's the trio again for how it works. The inheritance. Kind of hard to get it all on one screen, but there you go. And keep it relatively big. So that's kind of how the inheritance tree works for the weaponry right there. The method behind the madness. So this is Wardon, and do the YouTube stuff, like, hit, subscribe, so you don't miss stuff. But in the future, I'll probably do another video of this if it gets a little bit too complicated. Changing in the trees and how the logic works in a big way. That way you guys have like a reference video and you're like, oh my god, why is this not working? Well, it's probably because you're inheriting wrong. But if you follow these trees, you'll have the exact setup that I have. So, thanks guys for watching. Like, hit, subscribe, and this is Wardon over and out. And thanks for watching, guys.